with a new art tutorial I think you're going to love. I'd like to thank PBS Kids for sponsoring today's video, and I'm so excited because today I get to teach you guys how to paint one of these adorable miniature paintings. My art today is inspired by the new PBS Kids show Molly of Denali. In the show, Molly is a 10-year-old girl who goes on daily adventures with her best friends and her dog. They spend a lot of time outdoors, like going camping, doing gardening, or playing basketball, and they also see a lot of wildlife. And that's where my inspiration for today's video came from. We're gonna paint some beautiful Alaskan trees against a pretty ombre sunset. Don't forget, you can watch Molly of Denali episodes on the free PBS Kids video app. Let's get started with the painting. So what you'll need is some thin and thick paintbrushes, a cup of water, watercolors, paper obviously, and black acrylic paint. I'm super excited because this painting is adorable and miniature, and it is a little bit easier than bigger paintings, so let's get started. I'm just dipping the thicker paintbrush in some water. I'm going to start with my first color, which is going to be light green. And I'm going to put a little bit of the darker green in too. So if you have that light green, then awesome. If not, you could just use a little bit darker. I kind of like to mix them a little bit. So once you have that color, go ahead and do it on the bottom. And I'm going to dip it in some more water and do the exact same thing. Okay, now we're going to get a little bit darker green. So the same green we used to mix these ones, this one, we're going to use to mix in the darker one. I'm just going to get both of them wet. Once you have that color, go ahead and put it on. I'm going to put on just a little bit more. Now for some teal, I'm just going to rub my brush against the bottom of the cup to get the green off. And now I'm going to get this color, kind of like cyan. I'm going to test it. It seems good. So I'm going to get some of that color. Looks like my painting is a little bit too watery. So definitely a tip, don't use too much water or it might turn out like this, where it looks kind of white in the middle. Okay, on to the next color. Now we're gonna get a darker teal type of color. So this kind of blue teal one right here. Gonna test that. That'll be perfect. And if it's not dark enough, because it will be getting a little darker towards the top, then you can mix it with some darker blue. Now we're gonna get this same dark blue we used and mix it with some black. I'm gonna apply this at the very top and blend it into the teal we did earlier. In fact, I'm gonna add a little bit more of this color. So a little tip, if your watercolor is too watery and you can kind of see it, see that? It's like really watery. If you could see it on the brush, then like kind of scoop it out and press it on the paper. It kind of helps get some of the water out. And the less water it has, the better the color turns out. So I'm gonna touch up the green real fast. Now that we're done with the blue at the top, we're gonna go ahead and actually add some black. Again, make sure your brush isn't too wet. If it is, just scrape out the water and you can just press it against the side of the cup and then the drips come off. That's how you know it's too wet. It's a little bit dark, so I'm gonna go ahead and add some of the dark blue to it just to lighten it up a bit. Okay, so it's pretty much dry, and as you can see, I switched out the back paper so it's a little cleaner. Now is the time for the black acrylic paint. So at first, just get like a little blob. Now we're gonna take some of our smaller brushes. So first you're gonna take your thinnest brush and get a tiny amount. Now we're just gonna make the lines for the trees, see where they're gonna be. We're probably gonna make about 4 or 5. You can make a couple taller than the other ones. Now we're gonna make the actual part of the tree. So I'm gonna grab this, about this big of a brush, not too big, and dip it in some black. If this is a line, we're just gonna be like making little splotches everywhere, if that makes sense. And make sure your brush doesn't have too much paint on it. Make sure it's like a little bit dry so it kind of looks like that rather than this. And your tree will turn out better. And remember, we can always go back and touch up these later, but for now I'm just gonna get all the trees done. Well, we're all done. Did you guys get to follow along? These paintings are super cute, adorable, and very easy, so if you followed along, be sure to tag me so I can see it. Thanks again so much for watching today's art tutorial. See you next time!